Alright everyone, now that we've started with a beak, I want everyone to take their fingers and try and make a kingfisher foot. The kingfisher has a fancy type of knuckle that connects halfway down. You can see it a little bit better in that bottom photo, but take your fingers, put them together, and hold your elbows into your arms. So the kingfisher only has 4 toes. There's 1 in the back, 2 in the front are fused, and then there's the 3rd one, but we can just pretend. So everyone make your kingfisher feet, and they're very short and stubby, so hold them here and think about, what does the kingfisher use these feet for? We already know that the kingfisher uses his beak to spear the fish, but what could these feet be used for? Is it helping him run? Is it to sit somewhere for a super long time? Is it to carry things all around? These are some questions to be asking, and I'm going to send you back into your groups, so be prepared to chat with your group, and let us all know what you think. See you in a few minutes. Alright group, focus back in. What did we all talk about? Can a couple people share back? Let me know. Some of you may have noticed a little hint in this slide. The kingfisher uses these stubby little feet to perch on branches. Can anybody guess why the kingfisher perches on branches, or did anyone talk about that in their group? Well, the kingfishers perch on branches waiting for fish. Fish aren't always around, so a lot of time the kingfishers will perch on these branches with their stubby little feet and spend the time waiting and watching to see a fish moving. And then they use their kingfisher beak to fly down and stab the fish. Yeah, that is how they use their adaptations. They use their beak and their feet to work together to be effective predators in their environment and to get all the food that they need. Okay, I have one last thing that we're going to look at. I have 2 pictures of kingfishers up on the screen. Can a couple people tell me the differences that they notice? Maybe that one of them has taller hair, one of them looks a little bit shorter than the other. Does anybody notice how one of them has an orange stripe across the chest? Heck yeah. Well, that stripe is why the kingfisher is called the belted kingfisher instead of a different kind. There's different kinds of kingfishers, by the way. This is just one type. For example, there's a green kingfisher that lives down in Mexico, but it's not as common. This kingfisher you can find all across North America. Can anybody guess which is the male and which is the female in these photos? If anybody guessed the bird on the left is the male, then you're correct. But if you're wrong, don't worry, because you were probably guessing that the bird on the right was the male because it was more colorful. Lots of birds have this trait, which is called sexual dimorphism, and that's when the male and female of the same species look different. Normally in birds, male birds are the ones that have a lot more colors. This is true for lots of different birds, like peacocks and ducks, for example, but the belted kingfisher is actually one of the only birds that has sexual dimorphism where the female is more brightly colored than the male. That's a fun fact. Now, does anybody have any ideas why the female belted kingfisher might have this orange stripe and not the male? Or why the male has the blue stripe and not the orange? Let's discuss one more time in small groups, and I'll hear back from you in a minute. So, what did everybody talk about? Can 3 people please share back? Take a second, let the student share. Alright, those are all excellent answers as to why the belted kingfisher would be like this. If you're looking for the right answer, then there is none. Biologists still don't know. Isn't that cool? This is one of the times where we can learn that science is always evolving. You know, like lots of times, there isn't going to be an answer for every question that we ask. And so this is where we come in. We, as stewards of the land, if we're always being observant and attentive, might begin to notice some of the things that other people haven't noticed before. You know, like someone paid attention the first time to realize, oh, that's why the belted kingfisher has a beak like that, so that it can spear fish. Each of us has the potential to be a scientist too. One of these days, one of you might be teaching me about the belted kingfisher and why it has this sexual dimorphism. Thank you all for your contributions today. I think we have all learned a lot from each other, and that's the reason that we came today, ultimately. So I appreciate all of you. Can we just take a moment and reflect on what we learned today? A couple people share back, maybe some people who haven't spoken yet. Hopefully one of the students will bring up something about land stewardship. Maybe someone will bring something up about how we can all be a scientist. If not, then maybe try and reinforce one of those if none of the students do bring it up, or draw connections. And also, potentially tying in what the students are saying to some other curriculum from the class, depending on what they share. All right. And so I just want to say thank you all again. And I'm going to remind you to look for your bingo. I know that the belted kingfisher is on there, and now we all know that the belted kingfisher lives near water. So if that is, something that you can get to and you live near a water source, then maybe, but also don't worry if you can't find it, because this is a bird that doesn't necessarily live where the rest of us humans do. So I hope you all find something cool on your bingo and you're able to share next week with us. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we will see you later. Adios, estudiantes.